Okay, now that we've all survived the Tumblr blackout. Sorry, I have to pronounce every single syllable or else I just jumbles it all up. So, anyway, back to this week's video. I'm Christopher, if you didn't know, and this is your Monday video. A little bit late on Monday, but you do what you can with Tumblr. So, the topic this week is passing. It's really broad, there's nothing really specific about it, it was just passing in general. For me, I really didn't start passing consistently until about 3 or 4 months ago, I want to say. Until the hormones really got a hold of my vocal cords and just stripped them to pieces. And I guess they're not really in pieces, they're just really, really long. Well, they're really, really deep. They're not, I don't know if they're long or what. But my vocal cords have definitely stretched, and I'm definitely speaking in a lower voice. So, that, I bind. Obviously wearing male clothing helps. Short hair. Yeah. That's about all I've really got. I know that pre-hormones, there's not a lot you can do. A good way to try, I mean, you can always bind. Binding is always crucial and helpful. But pre-hormones to have, if you're going through a checkout line, have somebody call you by the right pronoun, maybe. And maybe then the cashier will pick up on the right pronoun, especially if they're really unsure. Maybe by your friend saying he, then, they'll pick up on the right pronoun. Yeah. So, there's that whole thing. And I've heard that there's a phrase, I don't really know what the phrase is, but you're supposed to be able to, if you continuously say it, and every time that you say it you lower your voice just a little bit, you can actually lower your voice, supposedly. I don't know how much truth I put into that. To me it kind of sounds like a crock. So, but, yeah. That's that whole thing. I really personally haven't had much issue passing recently. I mean, I've had my gender marker changed for about 4 months now, so there's really been no issues with that. And now my name has actually legally been changed to Christopher as of December 3rd, so I'm kind of stoked about that, and I now have a license that says that I am Christopher, which is great. So I really don't think I'm going to run into any more issues. I'm still a little nervous. I'm going out to Virginia, and I'm not protected in Virginia as far as being trans and public access restrooms and stuff. So that should be fun. But I pass, so I'm concerned about it, but at the same time I'm also not stressing about it. I really don't know where to go with this video. I think I've covered just about everything that I can kind of think of. Male clothing helps if you can't bind tight enough. I know that the longer that I've been on T, the tighter, not the tighter that I've been able to bind, but my testicles have gotten smaller. So I haven't been binding. I mean, I don't have to bind as tight to pass as much in a t-shirt anymore. But luckily we're also in the wonderful thing of winter, unless you live in some crazy state like Florida. But, so, winter. So you can layer. Button downs really help hide your chest. Anything with words across the chest. Horizontal stripes. If you can, stay away from vertical stripes. They may slim you out, but I've noticed that they tend to emphasize a chest. So that's one thing to watch out for. Also make sure that either your clothes fit, if you bind tight enough to where you don't look like you have boobs, at least make sure that your clothes fit and you don't look like you're swimming in your dad's shirt. That can be kind of a giveaway. But otherwise, if you don't bind as tightly, obviously wear looser clothing. Pants, I've noticed that if you hang them a little bit lower than you normally would, we're not talking the super sag where your entire ass is showing, but maybe not sitting them on your hips, but a little bit below. It kind of cuts off that wonderful hourglass figure that we all have, or we all dread, or whatever, whatever the adjective you want to use there. But it kind of cuts that hourglass in half. Like, it makes you look more male, honestly. Like, you just lower your pants, I would say maybe that much. Sorry, you can't see that. Maybe that much. I mean, you might get away with a little bit lower, but I wouldn't go too much lower. But if you lower your pants by about that much, it should create enough of a difference to where you go from looking like you have an hourglass figure to looking like you have more of a male body type. And then there's also that whole, some guys have big hips, blah, 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 blah. But, I mean, if you're not on hormones, it really helps to do everything you can as far as your clothing to help you present as male. Anything and everything. Whether it's binding or t-shirts, like if you have a lot of trouble with t-shirts, I actually wear a muscle shirt underneath. Like, it's just a muscle shirt. It's not an A shirt, because an A shirt has got too thin of straps to cover my binder. So it's literally, it goes out to like here. Like, it's kind of like a cut-off t-shirt, essentially. But it really helps, because if anything is sticking out of my pants, and if people see the lines on the back, as long as they can see that little bit of white of my muscle shirt, then they don't really think of anything, or think much of anything. They think that I'm just wearing a beater. So, that's great. But, I don't really know what else to talk about. My first video literally started off at about 3.5 minutes, and this one's going on to 7. So, I hope I've covered just about everything, and until next Monday, guys, I will see you guys later.